Hey everyone, well we are back on trail. Took 2 nights of resting in the beautiful city of Pine. It was great to rest and relax. We're gonna do 1 day, but ended up doing 2 because there's some snow up north, and figured, hey, the extra day gives us a little bit of rest, and we also let the snow melt a little bit. But now, gotta go north and hike on. Mile 465.5 gives us Red Rock Spring, and Woody is gonna pump some water with his brand new water filter. We've got Pine Spring here at mile 466.6. The trough itself is pretty empty, but it is flowing, and I can see where you can collect it just upstream, or as it flows downstream, you can probably make a leaf spout. Weber Creek here at mile 469.8 is looking good. I think I might go for a swim. Oh look, it's another gate. Bay Creek at mile 473.3 has a nice little pipe spring here. Yes. North Sycamore Creek at mile 474.6. Nice flow. Yep, and easy to collect from. Mile 476, we have the dried out Chase Creek, named after one of the greatest Americans to ever walk this earth, Kelly Chase. Here's a toast. Fear not though if you need water, because at 476.8 there's plenty in this creek here, flowing strong, and there's actually a little space here for some camping. The safe way to cross the creek is the rocks down there, but if you're feeling daring, yep, there's actually a log bridge too. Mile 479.4, we got the East Verde River. Not a bad flow at all. And of course, here at the East Verde River, we're going to camp. And anytime we ever go to the East Verde River, we find Donatello and G-Fob. Yeah, we crossed the river about, I don't know, 45 miles south, and we saw these guys again. So, and there's Woody setting up his tent. One thing you may not have noticed in this section is you haven't seen videos including our friend John. John unfortunately aggravated an old injury that was causing a lot of pain. So unfortunately, he made the decision to get off trail. And hey, I support it too. So hey, on the bright side, he gets to spend more time now with his wife and kids. So hey, Mary, Brogan, Esme, enjoy your dad, and thanks for letting us borrow him for a few days. Hey, Woody, yeah. You know how many miles we did today?
18 and change.
18.8. That's your biggest day yet. How do you feel?
My feet are sore, but otherwise my spirits are good.
All right. Glad to see. Yeah, that's the kind of miles you can do when you take 25 pounds out of your back. So yeah, congratulations.
I'm naming my bag though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Congrats, brother. You kicked butt today. Thanks. Making some s'mores, courtesy of Donatello's girlfriend. Thank you very much. Hey, good morning. Well, we are well rested and ready to tackle the up climb up to Mogollon Rim. From camp here, we have to only go 1.9 miles. But we go up over 1,200 feet. So yeah, climb on. Well, we finally made it to the top. And honestly, the climb wasn't as bad as anticipated. Now we get to walk on the Mogollon Rim, and hopefully it should be a lot smoother. But here is a memorial to the Battle of the Big Dry Wash. It was a battle between Apache Indians and the cavalry from the US military. Of course, the inscription on here is kind of written from the white man's perspective and portrays the Apaches as the aggressors. Some people would say they were just defending their homeland and their people. But whatever your perspective, unfortunately, people on both sides did perish. Looks like we get our first chance to do some extended walking on snow. It's pretty solid. Hopefully the sun melts it pretty quickly. Just off to the side of the trail at mile 481.7 is General Springs Cabin. It's next to a spring and was used for years as a fire guard station after being built in the early 20th century. Mile 481.7, we've got General Springs Canyon, where there's a peaceful stream flowing down the side, unlike the war-minded streams of yesteryear. Okay, so this section of trail we're in right now is relatively free of snow, maybe a few patches here and there. But we just passed a few Sobo section hikers who let us know that kind of between Mormon Lake and Flagstaff, we're gonna see lots of snow and or lots of mud. But the good part was they said there's lots of water, so I guess there's positives and negatives. Mile 489.2 gives us this little stock tank being fed by snow currently, and it actually doesn't look too bad. East Clear Creek here at mile 490 gives us lots of water. However, the trail cross is right there in front, but you're gonna get your feet wet. So I'm gonna try right up there, and hopefully there's an easier spot to cross. Okay, about 20 meters upstream, the creek splits in two, and I'm gonna try to cross it right here without getting my feet wet. Now my feet got a tad bit wet with a little bit of splash when I landed on the other side, but Woody down here is going the old-fashioned way and taking his shoes and socks off in order to cross. Oh look, milk duds, courtesy of the local elk population. Blue Ridge Campground is at mile 495.3. The bathrooms are unfortunately locked. The dumpster isn't though, so feel free to offload any trash. And if you want to have a meal, they got nice picnic tables. As the sun sets, we're arriving at Hay Meadow Tank at mile 497.3, and there is water. I'm sure the wildlife love it. We're definitely going to filter it though. And since we've got a water supply nearby, Woody and I are going to camp here at mile 497.3. Not too far off from the water, but enough distance to allow the wildlife to enjoy it as well. Today wasn't too bad of a day, 17.9 miles, and a lot of the mud that was a problem over the last couple days is already starting to dry. Hey, good morning. Well, it was a chilly night last night apparently, a lot colder than I anticipated. My water? Yep, it actually froze in my vestibule. I was warm in my sleeping bag, and luckily my water filter was in my sleeping bag with me. Shortly after leaving camp this morning, we've hit, yep, mile 500, the big 500. Down there is Watchner Tank at mile 503.1, and it is bone dry. Homestead Tank at mile 504.4 is full. Rock Dog Woody and I are all gonna fill up. Hey guys, I think I'm gonna get off trail. April Fools. Foot in Tree Tank at mile 507.2 gives us some water, and if you want, you can always melt that snow on the side. Wild Horse Tank at mile 514.6 has tons of water, but it's definitely a little murky. Hey, good evening. Well, we're camped tonight at mile 516.3, making it a 19.0 mile day. Not too bad. The terrain here is actually pretty dry and flat. Only about the last mile where there are even patches of snow, so the reports of lots of mud and snow were either grossly exaggerated or the sun has been doing its thing and drying it out. Hey, good morning. Well, we had a little bit of rain last night, but no worries because it helps fill water sources like Bargaman Park Tank here at mile 518. Yep, and what else do we have? We got a whole bunch of hikers, including Woody, Wonder Kid, Moon Pie, and over there is Rock Dog. So yeah, the rain, not necessarily a bad thing, helps melt the snow, but it does make for a muddy trail. Shuff Tank at mile 522.0 is loaded to the brim, and it's even overflowing with a stream. It's not on gut hooks, but at mile 526.0 there's a giant puddle that Woody's gonna grab some water from. There's a massive lake here at mile 527. It's not on gut hook, but there's plenty of water. Navajo Springs at mile 533.7. Just look for these concrete structures. The actual spring is up there, but there's a pipe that runs right down here, and there's a little faucet right there to get your water. And of course, there's always a leak in the pipe, so you might get a shower. All right, so we're gonna camp not too far from the Navajo Spring, making it a 17.4 mile day. Not too bad, especially there was actually more snow and mud than we anticipated, so it kind of slowed things down a bit. But yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so we're gonna camp here and enjoy the beautiful sunset. In this section of trail near mile 537.6, there is so much snow melt that creates a lot of small streams like this one here. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have found real trail magic. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It is lunchtime here on the trail. Woody over there got us some hot dogs when he stopped in town shortly. All enjoying them. All right. So apparently it's supposed to be pretty dry for the next 16 miles, but this little mud puddle at mile 542.8 could be just the water we need. Here we have the remains of a railroad bed that was operated by a timber company out of Flagstaff. It ceased operations in 1927 due to falling timber prices and the cost associated with operating a railroad. Alright, so I am hiking currently in the 540s, so mile 540 to 550 range. And there is very minimal mud, very minimal snow, making this section very flat and very fast. Today's the 3rd of April, so anyone else that's looking at this later, you're gonna be going even faster. So this is what happens when an elk tries to jump the fence, gets twisted up in it, and then gets ripped apart by predators and scavengers. Horse Lake Tank at mile 551.6 is bone dry. Okay, mile 554.2, there's a Lakeview Campground. There's a dumpster that's open. The bathrooms are closed. The water is turned off. But, oh, there's also a picnic table. And if you keep going down that way, there is water at the lake. Well, before it gets too dark to record this video, we had a great day today. It ended up being a 20.5 mile day, plus like another mile coming down to the campground and back up because you can't officially actually, camp there because it's closed. But yeah, really fast track today, dry, no snow, loved it. And tomorrow we arrive into Flagstaff. Good morning and happy Easter Sunday. Yep, got to rise up to the occasion today. And well, we're not looking for Easter eggs, but we're looking for some nice pizza in the city of Flagstaff. From mile 556.8, you can see the end of Upper Lake Mary, which is next to the campground we visited yesterday afternoon. But from here, the views are amazing. Prime Lake at mile 557.4 is bone dry, making it not so prime. At mile 558.5 over there is Marshall Lake, but it's 0.7 miles one way, 1.4 miles round trip, and we don't need water because we just passed a campground and a nice local family hooked us up with a couple liters of water, so we are good to go. Mile 3.4 of the urban trail that brings us into Flagstaff to resupply, unfortunately, has a warning. Do not use. Stream contains wastewater influence. So that sounds like, well, it sounds like what filters are for, but yeah, you're so close to town, why risk it? Now entering the outskirts of Flagstaff. I see a flag. Now I just need to find a staff.
Hi guys, welcome to Agave. Come on down to Flagstaff, where the hikers meet at.
And that's the staff here. So hey, we have a flag and we have staff. All right, well hey, this last section has been amazing. It's been very fast, not as scenic as the previous sections, but hey, Arizona Trail takes you throughout different sections of Arizona, different environments, and I tell you, it's awesome. Some parts of it were tough, but hey, we persevered. So remember, hike on and
live on.